Welcome back, everyone. A senior Hamas official has accepted an American offer to restart hostage negotiations. That's according to Reuters. The militant group has reportedly dropped the demand for a complete ceasefire, instead putting on the table a 6-week first phase. Here with us now is Tal Shalev, senior political correspondent with Israeli news outlet Walla. Tal, great to have you back. So as someone who has covered this conflict so closely, and a complete ceasefire apparently off the table, how much more possible does a deal to return the hostages home seem attainable?
Hi, good morning, Hena. Happy to be here. I think that we are at the closest point we have been since the beginning of the war and since the first deal for a complete hostage deal. But, you know, the devil is in the details. So after a few weeks where the feeling was of complete stalemate, the Hamas indeed did pass back an answer to an Israeli proposal. It's an American-Israeli proposal that was put on the table in the beginning of June. And for the first time, you can hear voices of optimism here in Israel, specifically from the negotiators and the security establishment, not so much from the prime minister, but we might want to touch that later. But at large, the big question was always, since February, is this, can Israel commit to a permanent ceasefire, which it adamantly refuses to? And on the other hand, the Hamas, who continue to demand a complete ceasefire as part of negotiations. And the Americans in the past few weeks have succeeded to find a new formula of wording that can kind of bypass that gap by giving international assurances to the Hamas that Israel will not resume fighting as long as negotiations continue. But there is still quite a wide gap on those assurances. Hamas wants those assurances to be clear and very strong, while Israel, of course, wants them to be much more vague and much less binding, even though they're American and Qatari and Egypt assurances. So we still have a few weeks of negotiations ahead. I'm not opening champagne bottles yet.
Fair enough. We also know we're 3 weeks away from the prime minister coming here to the U.S. What does that window mean? Do you think there's more urgency to get these negotiations done before Netanyahu comes into the States?
I think that I think it's a window of opportunity for the administration to pressure Netanyahu to make a deal. It's true that so far in the past few months, the White House has been quite clear on posing the responsibility for the continuation of the war on Hamas. But now there are 3 weeks ahead in which Netanyahu wants to come or remain in good terms with the White House. He will probably not want to have any extra fights, given that he's going to give a speech in Congress that has already, you know, tensioned the relationship. So I think that the 3 weeks up until the visit are a window of opportunity for the Biden administration to say, listen up, Netanyahu. Do you want to visit to the White House? Do you want it to be warm, or do you want it to be cold? If you want it to be warm, give us this deal. We need it ahead of the elections. And I'm a bit afraid that if there's no breakthrough up until Netanyahu's visit, then afterwards it'll be much more difficult for the White House to pressure him, because he'll probably just want to stall time until the elections and wait and see what's going to happen in the November election.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.